Hi,
Hi guys, welcome to Real Talk with Roche. This is Matt.
and this is Christina.
Here we go, let's jam. Listen up real quick, gonna make your heart tick. Keep it real, no fake. Every story made. Got the news, got the fun. Join us, everyone. Roche, you know. Feel the vibe, let it flow. Podcast and let's grow. Real talk on the road.
Matt just said it. This is Real Talk with the Roches, where we talk about real life, hard things, fun things, interesting things, boring things,
Controversial thing?
all the things. And a little bit of background about us. I started working when I was 15. My first job was at Hot Topic officially. Worked at many other places, and now 15 years later, I work in corporate real estate. And I have a little baby with Mr. who is my husband, obviously. And we have a dog.
And Maple.
Yes.
And my name is Matt, and I have not been working since I was 14, but I have been playing sports since I was about 6. The main sports I played were football, baseball, water polo, and swim. And now I'm a dad.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We're going to try and formalize this a little bit. The structure that we're going to do going forward, the first segment of the show will be essentially us highlighting an event of the past week that was significant to us in some way, and then we'll talk about the topic for the week.
So our event this week, we went to the mall, and we brought Emerson's little go-kart stroller thingy.
It's a walker, like a baby.
Baby walker. And we thought it would just be fun because, I'm going to give a little context, the mall that by our house is always empty, and we just thought it would be fun to let Emerson get some energy out and go look at things because she's just an active baby, so we thought it'd be a great idea.
And it was a great idea. It was really stimulating for her. We had a lot of interaction with the store workers, and we were always very polite and asked, is it okay? Do you mind if we come in? Literally only went into one store.
Yeah, we went into Hot Topic. That's the only one the baby wanted to go into.
She would zoom up and down the center aisle of the mall, and we would take her 15, 20 yards away, and she would turn around and zip right back into Hot Topic. It was so ridiculous and funny. And also, there's no one at this mall. Maybe we saw 10, maybe 15 people, and it's huge. It's just super empty. There's not a lot of stores.
For context, there's about 200,000 people in all of Bryan College Stations, what I've read, and the majority of those people are people that are going to Texas A&M, and they're not in school right now, so there's literally no one around. It's empty in PCS, right?
Yeah. We walk in, and we put her in the go-kart, and she has these little sock shoes that have plastic on the bottom, and then it looks like just a tight-fitting nylon on it, I guess. And immediately Emerson started walking, and they were falling off and twisting her ankles, and she was having a really hard time. So we made the executive decision as parents, no one was there. We took her shoes off. Quite frankly, we didn't think about it very much. Matt and I both had eyes on her the whole time. And that's important because we posted it on TikTok, and as of right now, we're 20,000 views shy of 1 million views, and the angry mob has been unleashed on us at this point, and it's almost comical the type of feedback we've gotten. We've both received comments essentially that we're the worst parents.
We're neglectful. She's going to get AIDS.
She's going to get sepsis. She's going to step on a dirty drug needle. CPS should be called. And
we're just unfit to be parents.
My favorite one was tell me you're white without being white, which was really funny considering you're Mexican.
Yeah.
And Emmy's half Mexican.
Yeah.
And that one really just tickled me. Yeah, there was a lot of really positive comments, and a lot of people
were don't listen to you're doing a great job as parents. It's hard.
The whole experience has been really enlightening because I've seen and followed a lot of creators that have mental fatigue from posting online. And I understand, especially when it's a very harmless situation. So after we went to the mall, before we had posted anything, we brought her home. I wiped her down with wipes in the car, and then as soon as we got home, we put her in the bath. Gave her a really good scrub. We knew she didn't have any open sores on her feet. Like, it really was not a big deal in our eyes. When we were at the mall, I was looking for socks or baby shoes. There's 3 stores at this mall.
Yeah, everything was shut down. Hot Topic was open. There was one like fancy clothes store, and then like
Bath and Body Works.
Yeah, there's 3 or 4 open stores. So
for every open store, there was like 6 closed stores, and closed as in non-operational, empty. That was part of the reason why we picked that mall, because it was so empty. She could just zoom around and not bother anyone. And we were very cautious as she was walking around. If people were coming our way, we pulled her to the side.
And this was like on a Tuesday afternoon. There's nobody. There already is nobody in the city as is. And then there was like, I think we maybe saw 15 people, maybe 20 people in the whole entire mall.
Yeah. And another comment I saw was how we were extremely entitled and that we were taking away from the mall. We were going to
shopping experience. You're interrupting people's day and that we're bothering people.
And it made me laugh because we spent $70 when we were there between stuffed animal and a few other random things, and we ate lunch there. And when we went to the food court, we picked her up, obviously, and I carried the little walker, and we sat down. And while we were sitting there in this giant food court, like think of your stereotypical mall food court, big with lots of tables, there was like 4 open food shops in this place. And we went to a little rundown Philly cheesesteak place, which actually was really good. I was surprised. The french fries were delicious. The ranch was 10 out of 10. I would go back. So like we were there spending money. Like we weren't there to shop really, but when Emerson picked out like a toy, we bought it because we were very careful. She didn't grab things off shelves. She wasn't throwing things anywhere. She basically didn't touch anything. And the only thing she touched, we bought. So I just think it's really funny how quickly people want to jump to a conclusion and say how terrible people are when they have zero context.
And the thing is, if I was in California and we did this, I could see us probably getting backlash from other shoppers. If you do something like this in Texas, everyone's so sweet. They're so caring. They're very nice, positive people. I have had very little negative interaction with the people here. We had one neighbor that was weird, but it's a different story. But other than that, everyone's been so sweet to us and so sweet to Emerson. No one's ever made any comments. Everything has been positive. So that's another context of where we are located. It's really like a small community.
And even if we were in California, I wouldn't do that purely because, one, there's no one-story malls in California. Most of the malls in California are outdoors. And it's just a different environment. It's all about the context. Another funny one that I saw was that we need to put a leash on her because she's going to fall down an escalator and die. And
there's no escalators in the mall.
It's a one-story mall.
Yeah, these people are making comments like they know the situation, like they know us, like they know anything about what's going on except for watching a 20-second video of a baby in a stroller.
But I'm really glad they told me I'm white because I didn't know that before.
I don't even know why people make like that's. What's the point of bringing race into any of this?
I don't have any. I just read it and I started cracking up because it was like, oh.
What does that even mean? Who's like?
I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Yeah. So
the funny thing is, hold on, pause. The funny thing is, the video I got, the idea I got this from was from a black mom and a black baby.
Yeah, I remember.
In the video. Yeah. Oh, you're white. It's stupid. That's dumb. That's dumb. Don't make stupid comments.
It's true. And yeah. So that kind of concludes that part of our week. We started all of this partially because family live all over the country right now and we want to keep in touch with them. And being tired parents, we don't have time to call everyone. That was our original mindset. And I never expected something, especially this early as we've been posting, to get that much, I guess, traction. So that was, I guess, a fun adventure, a very funny one. Strange. I don't quite understand why we've gotten 700 comments. Where are her shoes? I didn't notice.
And the funny thing is Christina mentioned it. Sorry that we didn't. Well, I don't know, I forgot what you said, but you said something in the video Yeah, and the description.
There's a part where she's in Hot Topic, and I said, her shoes were falling off. I know that we need to have them. Don't come for me, thank you.
Yeah, literally.
And then in the actual like description, it says she was twisting her ankles and having a hard time. Don't worry, when we got home, we bathed her. She has, in the comments I put no open sores. The risk level was very low. What's the alternative? We show up, okay, she's twisting her ankles. Okay, now we go home with a fussy baby that really needs to get out and get some energy out. Or in the moment, we didn't quite frankly think about it much. We were visually scanning the ground.
I thought about it and I saw no problem. That's how I felt.
I know, I'm just saying, looking at it, sure, in the future we will be better prepared, have extra shoes or at least socks, whatever. But in that moment, it just was a very small, minor thing. And we picked her up whenever she went over any of the metal grates it was only in the Hot Topic.
I think the funny thing is, in this generation of everyone wants to give their opinion and say what they think is right. I grew up so differently. I was doing crazy stuff outside. I was barefoot. I was jumping into gross things. I was running through forests. I was gross, dude. I was so gross. I mean, her having her shoes off for 30 minutes is
I think it's okay to address people's concerns. I get it. I get where they're coming from. But also the situation's fine. Survivor bias. I get it. But also I ran around the mountains. We had hills when I grew up in Monterey. And we would run around barefoot, literally on these hills that had snakes and all kinds of stuff. I was fine. She wasn't on dirt. She wasn't on glass. She wasn't. So I'm just going to leave it at that. We're subjecting ourselves to commentary from others. And honestly, I'm open to the dialogue. I think when people start getting irrational, saying things like, oh, call CPS, that's when I end the conversation.
Or she's going to get AIDS. Bro, come.
Some stuff was pretty out there, but I personally at this point take it more as a funny moment, like, wow.
Yeah, and the other thing is Emerson doesn't put her feet in her mouth. She doesn't touch her feet. She literally is like, some people are like, oh, well, make sure she doesn't put her feet. Emerson put her foot in her mouth for 1 week when she was like 3 months or 4 months old, and that was it. That was like the end of it.
She's too tall. Like, honestly,
she never does. There's no point for her to do that because she's way past that stage. Like
it doesn't matter because she's clean. She literally gets 2 showers a day because we're bored half the time.
We go in the pool. She's in chlorine. That kills a bunch of stuff. There's a bunch of.
Even after the pool, she is in the shower. We go in the pool pretty much every day. So she gets a bath every night and usually another shower at some point in the day. Half the time just for fun because she likes the water. Her middle name's Ocean for a reason. That's all I'm going to leave that at. It's a fun adventure. I don't even think we've mentioned what we're talking about today.
Not yet. Christina just went to Austin and got a new back tattoo.
And I'm very excited about it because I had this planned before we were pregnant. I had talked to a local artist in Laguna Beach and we had started the sketch for the design. And essentially he ended up getting booked and that kind of fell through. We got pregnant, so I've obviously not had any tattoos since being pregnant. And while I was breastfeeding, I didn't want to do that. And quite honestly, we just hadn't had time or money. So now that I'm not breastfeeding anymore, Matt was so kind to take the baby for quite literally 14, 15 hours. Because I was gone starting at 9:30 and I didn't come home till almost 10:30.
Yeah, I think I took it at 7 in the morning.
Mm-hmm. And so I drove to Austin, which is about a 2-hour drive. Shout out to Moxie Tattoos. Her name is Jasmine. She works at Common Difference in Austin. She has amazing work. And Princess Jasmine. She is a princess, honestly. We did half of the design that I would like to get done. Essentially, the top part of the tattoo is phases of the moon. The center moon is ocean waves for our girl. And then the middle part of the design is a maple leaf, or maple obviously. There's like a butterfly that has flowers, and the flowers are significant to me because my grandparents have always had a beautiful rose garden and flowers constantly in their house. And so when I started getting tattoos, I always wanted flowers in all of my tattoos, essentially because one, flowers are expensive and I don't like paying for them because they die. So tattoos are a really fun thing for me to look at, having this thing that makes me so happy. And then I have my auntie on my mom's side that loves butterflies. They were her favorite thing. And so in relation, my mom loves butterflies because her sister loved them so much. And she's since passed. Not my mom, my aunt did. And so it's all connected, but that's kind of part of the fun that we wanted to talk through today is tattoos that matter, tattoos that don't, funny tattoos, first tattoos, all the things. Because 2 of my tattoos have meaning and the rest don't. I know what your first tattoo is, but give the backstory because it's fun.
I will explain. I don't even know how many tattoos I have now. What do you think? How many think?
I have no idea, probably 25, 30.
I have way more than. I think the last time I was close to counting was, I think I have more than 50 tattoos. And the first one I ever got, I was 18 years old, and my brothers and I, I guess my family, we were all eating at this Italian restaurant. And my older brother had a half sleeve, and he was talking about tattoos and fun ones, and I don't know, he was just making up random stuff. And he was like, dude, I would get a panda tattoo. Pandas are so cool. And I was like, dude, I'll get a panda tattoo with you. And he's like, all right, let's go. And then my middle brother was like, I'll get a tattoo with you guys too. And we're like, okay, let's go. Let's book it. And we literally the next day went into a tattoo shop and we all got pandas. My older brother and I got them on our ribs, and then my middle brother got it on his arm. And the funny thing is they're all like the same panda, but they're all doing a different like emote. One's waving, one's scratching his head, and then mine's just bare down, arms down. And that was my first, and it got it on my ribs. And one of the things that the tattoo artist said is like, dude, you're getting your first tattoo on your ribs. You're ballsy, because that's one of the most painful spots to get it. And yeah, it didn't feel very.
And it's very dark. There's a lot of shaded. Yeah. I'm not going to lie. The first time I saw that tattoo, I thought you really liked Panda Express.
I do like Panda Express.
Yeah.
Not that much.
I feel like, okay, that's going to be a fun topic because even with having tattoos now, I always feel awkward commenting on people's tattoos. But me personally, I love it when people comment on my tattoos. But when I see them, there's this weird thing in my mind. If I don't know what it is or I can't read it, I feel awkward saying, what does it say? And I feel like I don't have any script on me. And you have a strong feeling about that.
A strong feeling about script? Oh, okay. I guess I think what you're trying to say. So I have so it's actually lyrics from a Christian song that I like. And it goes from like almost my armpit all the way down to my hip. And it's just all writing. And it's in script. If you don't know what script is, it's almost like cursive. And it's hard to read. He did it freehand. That's why it was not as pristine as I wanted it to be, but it is what it is. It actually is like I'll add that into one of my most bothered tattoos is script, because he did it freehand and I wanted him to do it more legible.
Can I comment? I think it's a beautiful tattoo. I can't read it, but I think visually it looks really cool. Like it looks really pretty. And that's the first time you told me that it was freehand. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So he freehanded it. So he didn't type it out, paste it on. He did.
Yeah. It's spelled right?
Yes. Yeah, I double checked. There was one part of it that is not in it, which is in the lyrics because it wouldn't have fit correctly, but it was a very minor part. It was like he didn't have the.
Oh, now I'm gonna know that forever. I wish I
Yeah,
didn't
but you
know that.
have to find it.
Okay, give me like a snippet of what it says.
Okay, it says, "Be strong in the Lord, never give up hope. You're going to do great things. God's got his hand on you, so don't live life in fear. Forgive and forget, but don't forget why you're." And the reason I hate script is because every person that sees it says, "Oh, so what does it say?" And I have to recite that like over and over again. And it's actually really annoying. So I actually made a comment to Christina because she was going to get a scripture. And I was like, you better know exactly what that scripture says because everyone is going to say, "Oh, so what does that mean?" I asked her and she got it. You got it pretty much right. But it was
no.
You got to think about it. And you're like, wait, I don't know if that's actually correct.
Oh, no, I still don't know what it is. I mean, dyslexia, zero memory. I'm like Dory. Hi, I'm Dory. I have short-term memory loss. Because the script I wanted was Romans 12:2 that basically says, do not conform to this world, but be something renewed by God. I just like that. The first part hits me hard, and the end is essentially, pointed back towards the Lord. And we'll have to get into a conversation eventually of our views,
Yeah, we're also rebel beliefs too.
because I don't like calling myself a Christian. I believe in Jesus, and I have a relationship with him, but I don't like identifying with that group because of my own personal experiences.
Yeah, we don't have to get into it, but on this episode, I think that Christina and I have both been, what's the right word?
We are different people. Okay, so for my tattoo, I was going to get Romans 12:2 on one side, and the other side was going to be every saint has a past and every sinner has a future. And I think that's my perfect view. This is an incorrect view. This is a flawed, non-biblical view. But my human stance on Christianity is exactly that. It doesn't matter if you are a saint or a sinner. There's always more to your story. And the best people probably still made mistakes. And if you've made mistakes, there's still hope.
Yeah.
And I think my biggest issue with the church is that we do not admit our faults and we want to hide them. And when you bring them to the light, at least for me, I mean, I'll just say it because I think this is the whole point of this is, so when I got divorced, I felt very ostracized by the church. One of the churches I went to didn't let me volunteer in like the children's department because I was going through a divorce. And the way that I felt, if I hadn't already known and had a relationship with God myself, I would have never gone back to church. And I would have honestly been a big advocate against Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
Because of how badly those people treated me. And that's a much, much longer story to get into. But the way that they treated me was, I can't imagine one of my friends who isn't a believer being treated like that at a church, because that could have for the rest of their life
Turned them away from God.
And that is not okay to me. And it's not the first time that's the first time I've firsthand experienced it, but I have seen and heard other stories from people. And that's why I really struggle with that title, Christianity.
Yeah, and I think for my context, it's similar to hers. You didn't see that until later on in life. And I was a wild child, and I've always been different. Like, I always did what I wanted and said whatever I wanted. And I was never really mean to anyone or anything like that. But I wasn't proper and perfect and did everything right. I've been treated so, honestly, I don't want to say the worst I've been treated by Christians, but I've been treated very badly by people that think that they're so high on the horse. That's turned me really against the church. And I just think that I have my relationship with God and Jesus, and it's a personal relationship. And I know there's a lot of things in the Bible that say about church, but I just think that right now I feel like it has like a taint on the name. It's because of how people treat others in the community. And there's a song that I really like, and first thing about what it says in the song, it says, the main cause in atheism in the world today is Christians. Those that acknowledge them with the word and then defy him with the action. He says that's what an unbelieving world simply finds unbelievable. It's a kind of a confusing thing to say, but it's pretty much what it's saying is like when the Christians go out and say how good they are, and then they make actions that are not good in front of everyone, and people see it, they see the hypocrisy that this person is preaching, and they think that if that's the person that believes in God, I don't want to be like them. It pushes people away from God and in the church. It needs to be a positive impact, not a negative.
And this is probably a really weird, outlandish thing to say, but I feel like when you first start looking into religion, if you've never heard about it before, you start thinking about God, you start studying about it, you start reading the Bible and understanding what it is. One major disservice the church does to its congregations is we don't study the devil enough. Because there's a book by C.S. Lewis called The Screwtape Letters. I totally get stuck on this book because the entire thing talks about what the enemy, whatever you want to call it. If you're not a believer and don't understand these things, call it good and bad. When we ignore bad, we are more vulnerable.
Yeah, it's like blind.
And it's like when we are blindly worshiping and acting like palm trees in a congregation, we walk away from that basically just patting each other on the back instead of saying, here's how I'm going to sin this week. I know I'm going to stumble, and I need accountability in these areas. And walk with me through this because I can guarantee I'll fail. And I feel like the church talks so much about good and it's all about feel good. I don't believe that church needs to happen in the walls of an actual building. I believe that your biggest impact is going to be on conversations with people or people that you can impact in community. So I'm going to stop us there because we're getting off on a roll. But I do think it's important because some of our tattoos are tied to our faith.
Yes, and a lot of mine are. Count like probably like 5 or 6 just arm and
Funny
on my chest.
Funny side story, when we started like actually thinking about dating, I remember asking you, I was like, look, I really like you, but ultimately if I'm going to end up with someone, I need to know that you do believe in Jesus and that's like where your heart is for the rest of your life. And you looked at me and started laughing. You were like, I literally have scripture tattooed all over my body. I'm obviously committed. And that to me was duh, hello.
Yeah, I've just had a lot of experiences in lifeguarding and being in the ocean and things where I've had many chances of dying. And I just feel like, I don't know, it's just, there's a lot of things that have had a big impact on me. I think that where a lot of my tattoo ideas have come from is just believing in someone saving me. So even when I'm going to save people,
Yeah.
I feel like there's a hand on me to save others. That's pretty much how I went into every day as a lifeguard, because you never know what the ocean can bring to you, and I had some pretty crazy days.
I do want to input one minor correction. You said that I didn't experience that backlash from the church until later in life, and I would like to politely disagree with that because I was an emo kid, and I don't know if you remember this story, but I used to serve in the children's department, and there was a year where I had pink hair, all kinds of crazy hair, and one year I dyed it all black. And I worked at Hot Topic when I was 15, so I got the discounts, okay? I had the spiky belts, I was wearing bat necklaces, and so I go to church. Okay, yeah, I look a little funny because my hair's black and scene phase, my hair's spiked up on the side. I definitely looked funny. And I remember I walked in and the director of the children's department came up to me and said, you can't serve today because what you're wearing is demonic. And she sent me away. And it made me so angry because I remember there was 2 little pretty blonde girls that were also serving who were constantly on their phones in the corner. Whereas I was super engaged. I was teaching the children, sitting down with them, talking to them. I would do the crafts. I thrived like with kids. I loved them like they were I fiercely was passionate about that. And I remember walking away from that and crying and being extremely upset. And I was so angry at the church for a long time because I couldn't believe they were making a judgment on my physical appearance and letting these girls who didn't care, who were busy talking about boys or whatever they wanted to, on their phones distracted, and they turned me away. And so there were smaller things. Later in life, it got bigger and bigger, but
I thought what you said was, that was the first time I experienced that in person. That's why.
If I did, I misspoke.
Yeah, as a kid, I was young. I didn't dress emo, but I was definitely not pretty perfect boy in the corner.
I'm just saying, lots of experiences, but that's a good segue into a story about where I wanted to go in life. So I started working super young, and so I was always thinking, what do I want to do? And the show, Kat Von D's tattoo show came out. I loved her personality. I loved watching it. I loved art. I was drawing on everything. And when I was probably 16, I told my dad, I really want to go be a tattoo artist and I would like to pursue a tattoo apprenticeship. And he basically told me, you need to go to college, get a business degree or whatever you're going to get. And then if you do that and you still want to be a tattoo artist, you can go to tattoo school. So being 16, not thinking much of it, I was like, fine, I guess I'll go to school. And I went to school. I actually went to cosmetology school. Didn't like talking to people, so I didn't end up doing that. Got a business administration degree and started my life in corporate. Didn't look back really, just because I had to pay bills. Being a tattoo artist didn't feel as viable to me and consistent as corporate. So that dream sadly died. But when I met Matt, I told him about it. And at the time, I didn't have any tattoos when I met you. And one of the first weeks we had met, you got the moth with a knife through it. And Marley had done it for you. And Marley is a relatively new tattoo artist, and you let her practice on you. But it was one of the coolest tattoos I've ever seen. The way the shading was, it's a traditional tattoo. The line work was amazing. And I have been thinking about what I wanted to get in my tattoos for pretty much ever since I was 15. But having very conservative parents, no one in my family really had tattoos. My older sister got one later in life. I don't even remember if I think she might have gotten hers first, but it was very ostracized. Like, it was looked down upon. You can't have tattoos in business. And I had this mindset that I was going to wait to get tattoos until I got married. And I want to make sure that my partner likes the designs I get, because they're going to have to look at them for the rest of their life. And so I got married to somebody who didn't have any tattoos. It wasn't really a thing. So I just let that dream, that piece of me, die. Then I got divorced. And then I saw your tattoos. We were friends, of course, when we first met. And I was like, oh, screw all this nonsense. I'm getting tattoos. So my first tattoo is on my left arm, underneath, like on the soft,
Bicep.
The bicep. Thank you. And of course, y'all know the first tattoo has to be so meaningful. And every part of that tattoo, I have mustard seeds that tie back to the Bible. I have a magnolia flower for my grandma. There's 5 flowers for my family members. Like, every piece of it is memorable. So basically, it's a little bundle of wildflowers and then a geometric triangle. And it's very light. It's like a pencil sketch. And Matt I think I came to your house after I got it. I was so excited. I was like, look at, I'm inked. And Matt's looking at me like, you should have told him to go darker. And I was like, I didn't even flinch when he did it. And Matt,
like, I like it like this.
I still do like it.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I mean, it's just from my experience of having a lot of tattoos. I'm like, those thin lines and that lightness is going to fade so fast. But
I like it. And the funny thing is, you get it and you want to show it off, but I picked such a strange place. You literally never see it. I never think about it. Honestly, I forget I have it 90% of the time. So that's my first tattoo. So tell me your either funniest tattoo or least favorite tattoo.
okay, I have 2 little black diamonds on my arm, and they're just fillers. You can see really well, like when you look at my arm. I don't really like those that much, but they're not a big deal. I would say the funniest, probably.
I guess.
Yeah.
Is it your stick figure tattoo?
Yeah. It was Friday the 13th, and if you guys don't know, Friday the 13th, most tattoo shops do a special. Some of the specials are $13 for a tattoo, $7 for a tip. But other tattoo shops just do discounted small pieces. And I went to this guy in San Clemente, and he owned the shop, and he was doing like $20, $40 tattoos. You can pick whatever you wanted. And we were just hanging out with him. And there's this band called Stick Figure. If you guys don't know who they are and you like reggae or revolution or anything like that, go listen to them. They're amazing. And I learned about Stick Figure when I was early 20s, like maybe even younger, I don't know, like right as it came out. And I fell in love with them. And they came on in his shop while we were getting tattoos. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Stick Figure's on the radio? Like, what the heck? Like, or I think it was on his phone. And I was like, you know what? I should just get a little Stick Figure on my leg. And that's what I did. I got a little Stick Figure, and he's holding the surfboard, and I just winged it. I still like him. He's still cool, and I still love Stick Figure. So that's probably my funniest tattoo.
I love that tattoo, honestly. It cracks me up every time I see it. Another tattoo you have that I like, so when we're hanging out as friends, I love Harley Quinn, and I love the Joker. And when we started talking, you were like, you like the Joker and Harley Quinn? I have a Joker tattoo. And we both love Heath Ledger. Like, The Knight's Tale is one of my favorite movies. So your Joker tattoo is the Heath Ledger Joker. So that was really special and fun.
Apprentice too.
Okay, sorry. We had to take a little break to take care of Miss Emerson. My favorite tattoo is probably tied between my back tattoo and my jellyfish. I have a jellyfish from my hip to my knee. And I grew up in Monterey, and there was a lot of jellyfish. And it's a two-parter tattoo because I also love SpongeBob, and there's a ton of jellyfish in that show. And so the connection of the two, it has like flowers in the center and little bubbles and pearls, so it feels very like mermaid-esque. So that was my first really big one. That was my second tattoo, and I just really like how it turned out. It's really feminine and it fits my leg really well. My worst tattoo is probably my sword with flowers. Huh. Could you guess? That one because it's very blown out. Do you want to tell them why?
Yeah, so Christina and I, we started a business last year, a little management business of models, and we had some work. We made some money, and on the first paycheck, I tried to make Christina's dream of becoming a tattoo artist come to life. I bought her everything she needed to get started. So I bought her gloves and a machine and ink and wraps like for the gun and pretty much everything. Green soap, Vaseline, the whole shebang. And I gave it to her. And the reason that her sword is so blown out is because that was a tattoo she did on herself. Practicing.
Yeah, so the first one I ever did, Matt let me do on him. So I did a bow and arrow. And I think we were looking at a few different designs. I was going to get the bow and arrow. And you liked it. And you're like, yeah, do that one. So he has a bow and arrow. And then I did the same exact tattoo on myself. I liked that one because as a video game player, I'm usually an ADC, an attack damage carry, in any game I play. And so I like that tie. And guess what? It has flowers in it. And those actually turned out really good for being first tattoos.
It came out really good. You can't even tell. Like, you wouldn't even know it was a first tattoo.
And I think that was because I was being cautious. I'm going to throw you under the bus a little bit here on my second one. So my sword tattoo was my third. And you kept telling me, you just got to get in there. Just get in there. Don't be afraid. And so I was like, okay, coach, I'll get in there. I'll get in there. And I blew the heck out of it. Honestly, I still like it. Like half my tattoos, I would say, when I got them, had zero meaning. And now I attach meaning to everything. Like I make the meaning after.
Did I install that in you? Because that's what I would do is get a tattoo that I liked and then I would put a meaning to it later.
I don't think you installed it, but you did instill it in me. I think you gave me confidence to just make the decisions I wanted to make and just go with it. Because I think a lot of tattoos, like there's all this pressure for it to be sentimental. And this part of it is my interpretation of it. Because I had all the body image issues, for me, I always struggled looking at my body. It made me feel bad. So now when I look at my body, I look at my skin and it brings me a lot of joy. Whereas before, I would look at it and I would see cellulite or fat rolls or moles. And now I'm very comfortable in my skin, and I think it's ridiculous that I nitpicked everything so much. But that piece of it was like, you know what? I'm going to die anyway, so let me enjoy the skin I have. And where was I going with this? Yeah, so blowing it out, basically, I pushed too hard and some of the leaves are blown out. I hadn't practiced shading much, so you can't, it just is a little fuzzy. You can, when you look at it though, you can still tell what it is. It's not that bad. It's not a black bob. Oh, here's where I was going with this. Because of how I've always struggled with imperfection, when I look at that tattoo with the blowouts, to me it reminds me that life isn't perfect and that's okay. And I'd honestly rather look at something that's imperfect and just embrace that.
And you tried.
Yeah.
You went for it on yourself, which is a huge step. I don't know how many people would tattoo themselves.
And I would not recommend that to people. I would say, especially if you're under 18.
Do your research. Do everything. Be safe. Because there's a lot of cleanliness that goes into it.
I think my background in cosmetology, they're very critical about clean. And I'm a very clean person. And so, like, when I first started, that was, like, the number one thing. Even when I was practicing, I always set up my station, sterilized, everything was saran wrapped. I had grip tape. We went all out with supplies. And
luckily, I had a lot of experience of getting tattoos, so I saw everything that they needed to be clean and to get the tattoos done the right way. It was easy for me to research what they used, and that's how I got all the supplies for her. Another thing is so I bought her second skin. No, fake skin. It's like a fake piece of skin that you can practice on, and you started doing it. You started practicing on the fake skin, and it was not working right. We both knew that something was wrong with like how it was turning out.
It's because they were so small. So the ones that we got essentially were like 6-inch by 3-inch. So whenever I would tattoo them, the way the gun, and they're very thin, like smaller than the size of a quarter. And so when you would tattoo, it would go, blah, 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 it would like flop around. And now that I know a little more, if you're going to practice on a honeydew or like a melon or an orange or something, because you have a little bit more control. But again, wait till your frontal lobe develops before anyone who's listening to this decides on some ideas. Like, I made a lot of interesting life choices when I was younger, and I feel like let's really not enable people to do that, especially if they're under 18. Just be very careful. That's all.
But the reason I was saying is that I didn't care. I have enough tattoos where even if it didn't turn out right, it would all blend in anyway. So I was like, dude, just go for it on me and let's just see what happens. So I think that was the confidence you needed to get started on this whole adventure, is just to let someone just not crap about how it turns out and just go for it.
Yeah, and I think to this day I've done a total of 15 tattoos between you, me. I've done Chastity, Miranda Max, and I'm forgetting who else. But I always warn people, if you're getting a tattoo from me, just assume it's going to look like a toddler did it. It's fun. My worst tattoo that I ever did was Matt's mermaid, but that's okay. The tail, we could fix it.
I think it was just because she wasn't experienced with shading, and she was trying to practice her shading, and something was not.
It was the
coming
needle.
out. The needle, yeah, the needle wasn't working right. So the shading is very like liney, if that makes sense. It's not like, it doesn't look like a.
It's not blended.
Yeah.
I wasn't using the right liner. We found the right needle after that. My whole left leg is my own work, and it's a total of 5 tattoos. I think cumulatively I have 9 now. So on a pain scale.
Do you want to let's do your pain scale first of what you.
Okay, the worst one ever was I have a tentacle on my jellyfish that goes towards my kneecap. But because I was at the end of a 9-hour session, I was like shaking in pain. And I don't even want to hear from you because you have your kneecaps blasted. I know. I'm also going to say the least painful tattoo I had was my back tattoo. And I thought my spine was going to be worse. It's also more like dainty, light. It's not like really thick line work. But that one, honestly, what hurt the most was just the position I was laying in. My neck was like tweaked by the end of the appointment.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, the knee, it does not feel good. Like my whole knee is like black pretty much. So he did a lot of shading, and it's a big rose with leaves coming out of it, and it's pretty much my whole entire knee. And that one was excruciating. That was probably one of the worst ones for sure. I would say also the script was another one that was really painful on the ribs. The ribs did not feel good at all. The knee felt really bad. And then honestly, I would say probably my calves were probably one of the most painful tattoos.
Really? Because that for me would be like on my lower pain side.
Yeah. Have you done the outside yet?
No.
That knife was really bad. The outside of my calf hurt really bad. I don't know why. So that was my first leg tattoo, is that huge knife. And I was like, I went into it being like, oh, legs probably don't hurt that bad. Like, that would be a weird spot to feel pain. That doesn't feel like, I think it wouldn't be that bad. And I went into the tattoo thinking that. And my tattoo artist, which we were like friends, so he did, I don't even know, probably 20 plus tattoos on me. And he didn't say anything. He's, oh yeah, you'll be fine. And then at the end of it, I was like, dude, that was horrible. That hurt so bad. Why was that so much more painful than all the other tattoos? Yeah, dude, the legs do not feel good. Those are one of the more painful tattoos, is the legs.
I wonder if you have more blood flow or something.
I don't know. I don't know what it is. Maybe because it's right on muscle, because it's on the outside of your calf. It's like all that is just skin and then direct muscle. It's no like fat and stuff.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know what the reason is, but it was really painful.
I'm probably weird. I enjoy the feeling of tattoos. I feel like my mind is constantly racing. So when I get a tattoo, I'm focused on what they're doing. And I don't usually look when they're working on me. And so I like to just imagine, like, what are they doing? Because I can guarantee what I think they're doing is absolutely not what they're working on.
I felt that way for the first chunk of tattoos, I would say. I felt, oh, this is so exciting. Like, I had the adrenaline. Like, I was like, I'm getting a new tattoo. This is like, I felt like the pain wasn't as bad because of how excited and antsy I was about it and the adrenaline was going. And then once I got to a point of I already had a lot of tattoos, I was like, oh, this is just going to suck. They all hurt in one way or another unless you have numbing cream.
So the last tattoo I want to talk about is the only one I've ever freehanded. Do you remember which one it is?
You ever freehanded my fingers? Yeah.
Oh, I forgot I did your fingers. When we got married, Matt was like, I don't like wedding rings, so just tattoo one on me. So I freehanded your wedding ring.
Yeah.
My wedding ring for you. I don't know what you want to call it. And we had a little party after, and I just had a heyday on your hands. I totally forgot. I feel like I don't even see them anymore. There's like a little leaf design, one of his fingers, and the other one has some diamond.
The ring kind of looks like a crown.
I really like it. It makes me feel really good. I love that you have it all the time. I don't wear my wedding ring a lot because it catches on things. And with Emerson, I don't like scratching her, and I feel like it's very scratchy. So I definitely want to get one too, just because it's annoying wearing a ring.
Yeah. I don't really like jewelry that much. I didn't talk about my collarbones. On the collarbone was, that was, since it was so close to your neck, I could feel the vibration all the way up to my head and it was rattling my skull because pain like shot into my neck. That one sucked too. Corner.
Tattoos mostly suck, so just know that going into it. And I think we'll post some pictures so you guys have some reference.
You could just go to the Instagram and you'd see all the tattoos. I'm sure it's one picture or another. And now I think I've done my dues and now I just put numbing cream every time I go on to get a tattoo.
Yeah, I think our long-term goal is to be financially dependent enough that we can both get neck tattoos. Because I want some like up the side of my neck, and I feel like you want one on the front of your neck.
Yeah, I want my full neck done.
So that's our life goal. Maybe we'll get there one day.
The only way I will do that is if we're millionaires. If we're multimillionaires.
It's unlikely, and we won't tell anyone if we do, but there'll be signs.
I'll just walk in with a huge neck tattoo and you'll know.
So just know that we're poor while we don't have neck tattoos. We're
doing okay though.
We need to be employed. Yeah. We are doing okay. We're doing pretty good. The economy sucks right now.
In this economy, at this time in our lives, I think we're doing right.
Everybody, if you're paying your bills, you're doing a good job. And if you're having a hard time paying your bills, you'll get there. Keep working. We're all busting our butts.
Know, even if you're struggling right now, it's not your fault. It's the people that the last 40, 60 years that have put this on us. So let's blame our grandparents for all this.
Oh, I love my grandparents. All my tattoos are for my grandparents. My retirement plan is to die before I'm 60.
I don't want to die before I'm 60, but I'm sure that who knows with my heart.
If I die, you get an insurance policy. So there you go.
Same with me.
Yep.
The goal is to live until Emerson's married and have.
Yes, that's a good goal. Let's do that. Okay.
Once our kids have families, then we can.
On that dark humor note, bye.
Stay tuned for the next one.
What are we talking about next time? Give me a topic. This is on you, buddy.
I'll give you a topic. We can go more in depth about religion.
Okay, goodbye 80% of you. All right. We'll see you guys later. Have a great week.
Bye.